The arrogant act. The stars of the Carina Verge glowed peacefully when the alien fleet descended. Their ships, black, needle-sharp constructs, fell upon an unsuspecting human colony orbiting the pale gas giant, Roman 4. The colonists were not soldiers. They were farmers, engineers, and children. The alien commander, High Marshal Zoreth of the Varkith Dominion, announced his arrival not with words, but with fire. Orbiting platforms were burned away in moments. Civilian transports, pleading over open comms, were cut down like drifting debris. The screams that poured across emergency channels were silenced by the pulse of annihilation cannons. When the slaughter ended, Zoreth ordered one ship spared, a freighter carrying the colony's envoy. The alien made his demand with a sneer carved into his mandibles. Surrender your species. Bend to Dominion law. Humanity is finished. Those who resist will not even leave dust behind. He transmitted the ultimatum across every human-monitored channel, his words dripping with contempt. Boasting in the aftermath. The Varkith gathered to celebrate their strike. They mocked the fragility of humans, passing hollow recordings of destroyed habitats like trophies. They cling to peace, Zoreth boomed in his war council. They will kneel when shown strength. Their fleets are whispers of steel, their soldiers brittle flesh. We have crushed their frontier. Earth will surrender or perish. Alien dignitaries cheered, certain they had broken humanity's resolve. Across the Dominion, scholars broadcast triumphalist sermons. The new species is civilized, soft, incapable of total war. The Dominion teaches them their place. To them, Earth was a garden too delicate to defend itself. The silence before the response. The galaxy waited. For a time it seemed the Varkith were right. Human channels fell quiet. No counterstrike, no enraged retaliation, just silence. But silence is not the absence of sound. It is the sharp breath before a scream. In Earth's deep command bunkers, signals rippled. Orders spread through encrypted channels. The United Terran fleet stirred. Docks long thought ceremonial activated. Ancient codes unlocked the arsenals buried beneath lunar regolith. And then a single voice broke the quiet. Ambassador Helena Veyer, Earth's chief diplomat, responded to the Dominion broadcast. Her message was calm, precise, deliberate. You demand our surrender. Instead, I offer you a choice. Withdraw now or witness what humanity becomes when forced to rise. The Dominion laughed. They did not hear the thunder gathering behind her words. The sky opens. First came the carriers, shadows sliding from Neptune's orbit. Then the dreadnoughts, titans of steel, kilometer-long hulls igniting with plasma light. Fleets emerged not in dozens, but in hundreds, until stars themselves seemed blotted out by human war machines. Every comm channel carried a warning: evacuate Dominion borders. Humanity is moving. The galaxy trembled. Neutrino detectors across star systems reported sudden, coordinated FTL jumps. Human fleets did not crawl, they erupted across light years. Alien observers whispered that Earth had been preparing for centuries, disguising its strength beneath treaties and diplomacy. Now, the mask had fallen. The retaliation unleashed. The first strike hit Roman 4. Where the Varkith had burned farms, humanity returned with storms of iron. Orbital bombardments carved Dominion fleets to ash before they could even maneuver. Ground fortresses collapsed in molten rivers. Terran shock troops descended, their powered exosuits gleaming with crimson insignias. To the Varkith, they looked less like soldiers and more like judgment incarnate. Every defense shattered. Every stronghold fell. In one sector, human dreadnought Tyrant's Hand fired a single rail cannon volley. The slug, heavier than a mountain, crossed half a planet's sky before obliterating the Dominion's Central Command spire. Survivors said it looked as if a god's finger had touched their world and erased it. The Varkith begged for parley, but humanity had already decided mercy would not come swiftly. The diplomat's final words. Amid the annihilation, Ambassador Helena Veyer transmitted one last broadcast to High Marshal Zorath, whose flagship burned in orbit. Her voice was steady, stripped of anger. You were offered a choice. You chose arrogance. This is our answer. Her words became the mantra of the fleets as they carved through Dominion territories. Not a shout, not a plea, just the unshakable truth of a species that had tasted wrath and answered with infinity. The firestorm across the stars. World after world fell silent under Terran assault. Colonies that had mocked humanity now saw Dominion banners ripped down, replaced by the sigil of Earth. Entire star systems were quarantined. Human fleets did not linger to gloat. They advanced, methodical, unrelenting. Planets once deemed impregnable defenses were glassed from orbit, their atmospheres turned to storm-shrouded graveyards. Alien chroniclers described it as a biblical plague. They came like night. Their ships blotted suns, their armies fell like storms. Against their fury, we had no gods, no weapons, no hope. The silence after. And then, as suddenly as it began, humanity stopped. The Terran fleets withdrew to their borders, leaving behind fields of ruin. Not conquest, not occupation, only a lesson carved into the bones of the galaxy. Dominion survivors whispered in terror. Markets, temples, and academies carried one truth: never provoke Earth again. The human patience had proven vast, their diplomacy enduring. But when shattered, their vengeance was infinite. The galaxy would remember the choice given, and the answer received. Epilogue whispers of fear. Centuries later, alien children still ask about the day of silence, when human diplomats spoke softly, and human fleets answered like gods. The answer always comes in hushed tones. They were given a choice. They chose wrong, and humanity taught us why stars themselves tremble.